Good morning, students. Today we are going to read chapter 23, The Bishop's Dream, part 1. Before we start reading the chapter, let us first understand the meaning of the chapter's name, The Bishop's Dream. Okay, so what do you mean by bishop? Bishop is a senior person in Christian profession. Okay, and what do you mean by dream? Dream, we all know, generally sometimes when we sleep we saw a dream. Okay, so this story is about a bishop who sees a dream. Now let us read the chapter. Some hundreds of years ago there lived a bishop named Everard who built a great cathedral in a city on a hill. The cathedral was very beautiful one with wide carved doorways, lovely windows of colored glass and splendid towers. Now in this paragraph underline the word cathedral. Okay, so this is a new word for you, so just underline it. So the story says the hundreds of years ago there lived a bishop. Before 100 years there was a bishop. His name was Everard. What was his name? His name was Everard, who built a great cathedral. Do you all know what is a cathedral? A cathedral is a church. So what did the bishop do? He built a great cathedral in a city on a hill. The cathedral was very beautiful one with wide carved doorways. So the church, the cathedral, it was very beautiful and it had wide carved doorways. What do you mean by carved? Underline the word carved also. Carved means whenever if you have gone to some historical place or some monuments, you would have seen carvings over there. Carvings are the designs which are built on the wall itself. So the doors of the church, they were very wide and they had carvings. Lovely windows of colored glass and splendid towers. Underline the word splendid also. The windows were very beautiful. They had glasses which were colored and the towers were very magnificent, very impressive. Splendid means something which is very impressive, very beautiful in appearance. So this was the description of cathedral. Now let us come to the next paragraph. As he looked at the stately building while it was being made, the bishop said to himself, "Surely God has no more beautiful house in all the world than this, and I, Bishop Everard, have built it. It is my work, for I have planned it all, the towers and the windows, the carvings and the statues." In this paragraph, underline the word statue. So he was looking at the stately building. Which building he was looking at? He was looking at the church which was being made. The bishop was saying to himself, "Surely God has no more beautiful house in all the world than this." The God, he is saying, do you know where is the house of the God? House of the God he is considering here is to the church. So he is saying the God has no more beautiful house in the world, and I, Bishop Everard, have made this house for the God. It is my work. I have planned it all. I have designed it all. I have planned it all. The towers, the windows, the carvings and the statues. With my riches I have bought the stone, the timber of which it is made. My gold pays the builders, the carvers and the sculptors who work upon it. Underline the word sculptor. In raising this wonderful church, I am doing a noble service. Underline the word noble, to God and to my fellow men. So with my riches, what does the word rich mean here? The word rich means the money, the wealth, all the wealth the bishop had, he had used in making this church. He has bought the stone, the timber. Underline the word timber is a kind of wood. With his money he has brought the material for making the church, and with his money, his gold, he has paid all the builders, the carvers, the laborers and the sculptors who all are working in making the church. In raising this wonderful church, he is doing a noble service. He is doing a kind work to the God and to my fellow men and to the people who live with him in this city. Over the great doorways of the cathedral was a place where a statue might stand. The bishop meant to fill this place with a stone image of himself. So over the great doorways of cathedral, at the at the doorway of the cathedral, the bishop wanted to place a statue of himself. Statue is something which is made up of a stone or hard material. It must be only a small simple statue, said he, for I am not a proud man. Yet as he looked up at the empty place, it pleased him to think that hundreds of years after he will be dead, people will stop before his statue and praise him for what he had done. Then, though he did not know it, his head became full of pride. Underline the word pride, underline the word pleased. So he's saying, I want a simple statue of mine because I am not a proud man. I does not have any ego, any proud. I want a very simple statue at this empty place because when I will be died after some time, the people will stop before statue and praise me, appreciate me for what work I have done. Though he did not know it, and his heart became full of pride. So he is having full pride in his heart that I have done a very great work. I have built this church, the beautiful house of the God. So a statue should be placed of me so that people remember me even after 100 years. One night Bishop Edward had a dream. He thought a shining angel stood beside his bed and told him to rise. So one night Bishop Edward he saw a dream and a shining angel, a messenger of God, was standing beside his bed and he asked him to rise.